Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give all the power. Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give all the powers to chant. Jah give all the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I Jollifer said that.
Greetings, this is H.I.M. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? H.I.M. said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
African pride, root of all nations, boy. I tried with the lion, the Rastafari. Lion of it tried with lioness like I do. Empress on the front line, we need you.
Well, this is Medicine, the steady one, and you are now tuned in to the Lion's Voice Network. What the lion forward for do? Scorch them. Roast and parch them.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Empress Manel, and a young scientist. You're wrong. Universally unfold, be told. Blessed love, this is Itege Idama, and it's time for the lioness and the lion's voices to be heard. This is the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yo, blazing fire, yeah man, this is Rasindio out of Belize, and the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, right? Yeah man, we blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah man, Rasindio said that, blazing fire, lion boy.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes, wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the light. Lion voice.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about Empress Mene.
stars they fall, and the moon turn into blood. But through the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall, and the moon turn into blood, through the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see their city streets them flood. When the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me not budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Tonight's episode, we will be talking about celebration taking place in Jamaica for the 60th Silver Jubilee of His Majesty's visit to Jamaica. This is a prophetic moment, and it's widely celebrated in the Caribbean, because it wasn't just Jamaica that he trotted to. Trinidad, Barbados, and we'll be playing. We've done episodes in the past. We're going to be putting up some of those episodes this strong end, so that the IDM can sip. We had a powerful panel last year with representation. Bongo Greece out of Trinidad, Bongo Sifo out of Barbados, you know what I mean? And we had ones representing from all of the different regions. So it was really very powerful. And tonight, we have one of my Asians on tonight, you know what I mean? And when I say one of I and I Asians, I mean an Asian I interact with in a real life off of the, you know, because some of the guests, I don't really know them. I just reason with them, and we build. You're literally seeing I and I build a relationship with the guests, you know, live in real time. And enough time off air after the first interview, we keep the link. Things are happening, we're referring things, business is getting done. So a lot of positive things have been happening out of this platform and out of this ecosystem. But this Asian tonight is one of I and I Asian from the Nyabingi all the way. You know, we encounter in the ISIS,
You know, as a young ras growing up, would I hear about these H.I.M. He would come and visit America from time to time too. So we interact with the ancient, and he recently did an interview. I'm gonna have to find the link and put it in the comments, and the thing blow up all over YouTube. You know what I mean? Ras gone clear. You know, the elder gone clear. So it really is a joy to see, because they have been blocking these sounds from that time until this time. So it's nothing new that the elder has said. But you know, it's just now is the time that people are now seeing it. They're seeing the fall of the Western Empire. They're seeing the global shift. They're seeing Africa's rise. You know, that glimmer of hope coming out of the Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, that spark that was there in the 60s. So, you know, people are starting to see the energy and the words of the elders, how prophetic, how right they were. And the visit to Jamaica was one of those occasions, family, that it's prophetic. You know, I remember growing up in Washington, D.C. as a young ras, going to the Nyabing Girls. We would look forward to every year, the April 21st ISIS, because we know we're going to get some testimony. Ras Iris going to tell you about how him rent a truck and him have him brethren on the truck back and them drive to the airport, and him going to tell you about how him did in the stands and how the stands them get licked down and him and him brethren dip on the tarmac, and you know. So we're getting the first hand accounts every year. Then we would hear from Pa Jack, but Brother Jack, one of the percussionists for Ras Michael, Kettyman for Ras Michael and Sons and Negros, original Pa Jack, who was also one of our elders here in DC, and he would tell us how he saw His Majesty driving down, and the soldier bayonet was in his chest, and the crowd was pushing him onto the soldier's bayonet, and how he looked at His Majesty and how he called out the 72 names and glorify him, and then he would seal and say, Jah, you know, and the whole thing. And every year we get the same story them, you know, me I tell you them. But it was so joyful to hear these stories from our elders. And this is why when they had the Jah, Haile Selassie civil war in the Nyabing Girls, that's why I never leave the Jah part, you know, because we had these elders, and I saw it as prophetic, because Psalm 68 says, extol him by his name that ride upon the heavens, Jah. And when you really check it, some people really did hail His Majesty as Jah. I don't know any other human being that received those titles. You know, and when you say Jah, even now to this day, the association is with His Imperial Majesty. Which other human being have that association? So it really did fulfill, you know what I mean, in that time. We heard about the rain that poured. We heard about the flock of white birds. I made a song about it. Those who know my song catalog will know. So me have a song where me do a verse about that. Can't forget the flock of white birds from the east. So we get to know him as the Prince of Peace. Man upon them chalice all in front of police. You know what I mean? Red, gold, and green that align every street. We have these lyrics, you know, because these are the things that we were told. Every piece of red, gold, and green cloth in Jamaica sell off during that time. You know what I mean? We heard about the chalice burn under the plane wing with all jet fuel and all kind of thing go on. You know what I mean? The mystic of it, the darkness, you know what I mean, before the sun burst through the clouds, you know what I mean, and the people them shout out the chanting, Nyabingi, I have seen Rastafari, and them chant there, I have seen Rastafari, them chant there. So it is such a, you know what I mean, magnificent occasion, and we're coming up on the 60th anniversary. So now that we have the Lion Voice Network, I feel joyful that I can invite, you know, a Asian who can give us them type of stories there, and his vibration around what's happening, what has happened, and what is to come at the event that's taking place at the Ronnie Williams Cultural Center. So we're going to go through all of that tonight, family. This is another classic episode, so get your ital snacks, get your meditation, put it down. You know what I mean? You might need 2, 3, 4, 5 spliff tonight because we're going up in the high region. But we're going to balance it the same way because we also have one of our nice sisters coming forward, one of the premier cultural commentators right now in Jamaica. Also, event planner extraordinaire. She's part of the organizing of this event. No stranger to this platform. She's been on the platform multiple times. Sister Colleen Douglas. So we're going to have a nice balanced vibration tonight. It's going to be one of those. I want everyone to get active in the comments. I see some of the Lion Pride on Patreon here from early. Nick Nakos, big up yourself. I see Breadlocks, the article Dreadlocks, big up yourself. Ross Roots, now left we out, big up yourself. The international president of the EWF, Attorney Cheryl Murray Powell, ICDI, big up yourself. All here from early live, family. So it's one of them episodes. We know enough ones will tune in. So before I bring forward the guests, let me just take the time to big up the greatest online community on the planet. I'm biased, but I'm transparent with my bias. You know what I mean? This comment section is the greatest comment section on the internet, the most positive. They have a thing in the internet called trolls. And I can tell you them when the trolls them come, they don't stay long because the vibration too high. Them run away. You know what I mean? It's too much light in the comment section. So big up yourself, all of the ones them who comment. If you have questions you don't know, just put them in there. We try to see them. Sometimes we miss them, but we'll try to integrate them into the reasoning same way because as a family, this is a community that we have built here online. 68,000 strong. We're headed towards 70,000. We should hit that by May through the powers with the I.M strength. We just dropped our episode called The Road to Heaven on Earth that chronicles our historic journey to Ghana and the quest for Black and Rastafari food sovereignty. I've been telling the I.M food shortage is coming, preparing. My queen and I have been stocking up on canned food, dry grains, all of these things, buying them in bulk. We get a Costco membership. We're taking it serious. Remember that the impacts of even what's happening now in the Middle East are not going to be hit. They say the first ships the last ships that left before the thing came, those ships are just reaching America now. So now we start to feel, so by the next month, we're going to see some terrible impacts. So get yourself together, get ready, because the thing will get serious. And I mean, it'll get really serious. That being said, this strong end, we will be traveling. The Lion Voice vlog returns. So special content. Let me bring up this. The Envision Cannabis conference will be in St. Croix with the family. Rastafari Run conference. Setting the cannabis industry. Who will own the ganja business? This is happening. We'll be there to film exclusive access that we'll have with the organizers. So stay tuned for that content coming up. You saw our reasoning with Senator Positive Nelson. If you didn't see that one, that was a classic Lion Voice. The brethren is a senator, 3-time senator in St. Croix. He's running for governor. We talk about Rastafari and politics. We talk about the evolution of the movement and the liberty. So check out that one. That one is beautiful. Also, I'm happy to announce Haile Selassie's Ethiopia has reached Chile. We just sent out a signed copy, and our sister Naomi from out of Chile received her copy of Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, signed from I So give thanks for everyone who, because the book is still selling, and we give thanks for the ones them all over the world now. Word sound is getting out about the book, and it's because the advertisements, the item see that we advertise the books in the clip. And for those people who have books, who have music, if you're not putting it out there regularly and consistently, it's out of sight, out of mind. There's no month where I don't get sales on my book, because it's people are seeing it, they're remembering it. So just remember that a lot of time we create something, we promote it for a month, and then we don't see it after that. You know what I mean? So we got to get out of that and, start to bring forward the vibration a little better. Yes. We are working. IV just messaged a little Wi-Fi issue. We're working through it. But yes, I can tell it really is a joy. Because of the Wi-Fi issue, we're going to bring in the elder very shortly. Look like we're fixing up the issue. So big up Sister Naomi for supporting the book, and you can get your copy. Go to the website, order your copy. If you want a signed copy, you can get the signed copy. Big up. Also, let me we still have these jackets donated by our elder Johnny Johnson, Lion of Judah jackets. We want to give them away. We're gonna have a raffle for those who join the Patreon. And initially we were saying joining at the $10, but I know the economic hardship that people are going through right now. So if you come in at the $5, 25 cents per strong, we're gonna just open it to everyone, because I want to mail out these. You have to be in North America, so the shipping and thing. But come in so that we can give out those beautiful gifts given by our elder Johnny Johnson. All right, housekeeping out to the way. Big up Frontline Books, big up Wally King's Entertainment and Graphics, big up Ramia King Design. When we drink with water, we're dealing with it. We're building the ecosystem. We're not talking about it, we're building the ecosystem. Okay, so we are, we're having a little technical difficulty again. But we're gonna work through it. The item know how we deal with it here at the Lion Voice Network. We never panic. We just let Wi-Fi the guy do what Wi-Fi the guy does, because he wants to start the show from time to time. But we work through it and we get through it. Irie, we are going to be bringing some special content. We just recorded a powerful interview with one of our legends for the 70,000 subscriber episode. We have some beautiful reasonings to get to. Medicine, the steady one, is next up for Lion Talk. So we're working, as the item know, we do have a full-time job and the network on top of that. So we have 2 full-time, but it's a joy because we are able to reach the community. And every day now, every single day, I get calls, I get texts from ones saying how much the content is impacting them, how the positive energy, how they learn so much, how they're seeing Rastafari in a different light, how it's encouraging them to step up to works. And we're also getting calls from guests who have been hearing from the IDEM and getting strength from the IDEM. You know what I mean? A couple of the guests let me know that the ones who are watching the shows are following up and sending strength. So that's the whole concept that we are pushing here, is that every guest that come on the platform, we ask them to leave a contact information, and we ask the IDEM to support that guest. You know what I mean? So The same thing tonight with our elder, Ras Ayav, our beautiful sister, Colleen Douglas. We are going to ask the same thing for these ones as we move on the journey. If you're just joining us live, tonight we're talking about the 60th anniversary of the visit of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I to Jamaica. What a mystical day. Coming up on 420, it's also noted that during the trip of His Majesty, herb, the Holy Sacrament, was de facto legalized. From the time His Majesty foot touched the ground in Jamaica, there was no one being locked up for herb. Herb just free up everywhere. The man them were burning herb on the grounds of King House, Chalisabon, Stadium, everywhere. This is one of the things our elders transmitted to us with the oral tradition, is how the herb was burning. He appeared in clouds of smoke. If you want to get into prophecy, he come in a cloud, and he really did manifest through those herb clouds. So this was an event that has so much significance to I and I. We really do give thanks. Let me see what's happening here. Okay. So we are looking forward. We're going to get the elder here shortly. And if you have questions, please put your questions in the comment section. We want this to be an interactive reasoning tonight. We're going there, we're going up there, because 60 years is not an easy landmark. When we come forward, we'll have some more content next strong on the visit to the Caribbean. We're going to be welcoming the board of IDOR, some representatives from the Universal Development of Rastafari on the platform to talk about some of the works that are happening, new website launch, all of these things. IDOR, as a founding member, gives H.I.M so much joy to see the organ, rising up again with a mighty strength. The arm of Gideon is shaking up the Irites, and everyone is waking up, and it's a glory to behold everyone holding their position. Stay in your lane, find your lane, stay in your lane. Everybody, all right. As soon as H.I.M come in now, we're setting up. I'm going to bring him forward. Let's see out there. Greetings. Okay, I'm too early. Let the H.I.M settle himself, because he's a international renowned elder right now. I think the platform is called Thrope or something like that. It's a real estate brethren who does real estate, popular platform with Jamaican and the Jamaica diaspora, but it's a non-Rastafari platform, and they had the elder on there. I mean, I tell you, the last time I checked, it was over 37,000 views, and all of them positives, like them I say Rastafari, told us, and like them seeing, and then the intelligence of the elder just make them feel so airy. Okay, we're still dealing with Wi-Fi, the guy. In the meantime, I'm going to bring forward a royal queen so that we can balance the reasoning with our H.I.M and get some clarity in terms of this event that's being planned, and how Jamaica is really commemorating, because this was the biggest visit of any foreign dignitary in the history of the island. So help I to welcome the great Colleen Douglas. Greetings.
Greetings, Adjustments.
Royal greetings. And Ras Ayav.
Yes, greetings, Rastafari,
Okay, give thanks. I just want to welcome the item forward to the Lion Voice Network. Both of the item are alumnus of the platform, so we don't have to get too deep in our history. We get straight into the topic. Why are we here tonight? Sister Colleen, start us off and then we'll go to IAV to set the history.
As you might realize, we're having internet issues, you know.
Okay.
Impact of Melissa still.
Oh. So do you want to lead out while we have you then?
Yeah, thank you.
Sister Colleen.
Yes.
Yes, Pastor Ivy.
Why is the 60th anniversary important, and what is
great thing?
Yes. Okay. Wow. We're working. He's Westmoreland, the elder.
Russ Ivy probably have to turn off his camera.
Yes.
To save on some bandwidth. Yeah, the internet is still not fully up in the western parts of Jamaica.
Okay.
But some people still have no electricity, so you know how that is.
Yes. So when he comes forward, I will let him know.
Okay.
But you know, tell us what is happening in Jamaica for the 60th anniversary.
Well, it's the Naibingi House has been leading the initiative to have a celebration on the 21st. I think the last celebration we're aware of is the 50th, the big one.
Yes.
Every year there is a bingi and an acknowledgement of his visit, but 1966, it's 60 years and it's a significant year. And so they're bringing bingi to Kingston. That's one, because Kingston don't really get a bingi. So for those who are in Kingston can experience that. And we will speak to them about the Rastafari dress code for this space in the evening. Okay. But we start out the celebrations in the morning with a motorcade, which is a tradition of the community to come from all parts of Jamaica, meet together in one spot. The spot is usually Rockfort, and head out to the airport. And the airport is symbolic of where His Majesty landed, obviously. And at the airport, a kind of morning bingy. Visitors, anyone picking up can have that experience. When they, and also just a morning isis to start off the day. They leave from the airport to the school, Haile Selassie High School in Payne Avenue in Kingston as well. For those who are not aware, His Majesty gifted Jamaica a high school, Haile Selassie High School. It's been around for, actually they celebrate 60 years later on in the year in terms of the time that was gifted. So we move the motorcade along the same route that His Majesty would have taken, past the train line and down to Payne Avenue for a stop at the school to participate in the activities that the school's giving. The school actually has a couple of activities for the week. They've called it their Spirit Week. So they are on the main dates, their main activity with keynote addresses and an afternoon of Rastafari cultural offerings. That's what the school is doing. But our stop really is a symbolic moment and to just engage the students a little bit. Then the community will move, the motorcade will move, clearly with the help of the Jamaican police, will move up to the Ronnie Williams Center. Why the Ronnie Williams Center might mean absolutely nothing to ones who are aware of the journey. He stopped at a couple of institutions, which included the University of the West Indies, UTEC, which was cast at the time. But we're not making those stops. What we will do is do a significant drive by King's House, where he stayed. And from King's House, it's really a walk away to Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center. We're going to be located specifically in the Louise Bennett Garden Theater. And so that is where we will, from about, the place is set from about noon with a little marketplace. And by 2:00, we will have official opening. We've invited the Minister of Culture. We've invited the Ethiopian representative consul, the Orthodox Church. So in as much as the Naibingi House has planned it, it's a community event. So
Yes.
all of the tribes will be represented.
Beautiful.
12 tribe of his Israel, School of Vision, the Bobo Ashanti, and then there are also organizations of Rastafari, including the Rastafari mansions, the RMO will also be there, and their members, the respective members, Raga, House of Sibo, all have been invited to just come in one space where we can just have reflections, reasonings, some performances. If we were to go into, I should mention that there is a particular performance that is significant for me. A few a few months ago, perhaps late mid last year, School of Sacrament Rastafari University engaged the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, their School of Drama, to take some notes that were put together by Jake Homiak and Janani Nair, who have a book that is being launched around this time as well.
Okay.
The book is about the testimony of His Majesty's visit, Enter the Lion, I think it's called.
Okay.
And the in that conversation, the students of Edna took some of those testimonies and devised a play. So they will share that play with the community on that day. And after
Okay.
they share the play, the community will have a talk back with the director and the students. The talk back will be led by Owen Blacker Ellis, who was 12 tribe of Israel, but was also a teenage boy on his father's shoulders, waving flag when His Majesty was passed.
Okay.
So he will be leading
Hold
that.
on, stick a pin, stick a pin. I just want the eye big up yourself because I know the work that the eye has been putting into this. So let me just big up the eyes. It has Sister Colleen all over the DNA from me here. Blacker Ellis, I know you produced him. I know Edna Man is your former workplace, you know what I mean? So I have to just big up the eye because this is a platform where we are celebrating the workers. So as the item here, and I know there's a team and you'll get into the team, and I know you're humble and you're going to try to deflect the whole something. We're not dependent right now. You understand?
Give thanks and receiving.
Yes, I'm militant with me compliment them now. I have to do that because the workers them need to be lifted up so the young people can aspire to want to do the work too. If we don't lift up our workers, then who's gonna want to be the worker and everybody just criticize? No. So I just didn't want to stick up in because I'm just here smiling as you're talking. Go ahead.
Oh, give thanks. No, I mean, I do. Workers are generally few. And I think in most situations, even at work, the ones who are putting in the effort are few. So I appreciate the acknowledgement. And since we're in that regard, it's really a committee. It's
Yes.
a committee, and some of us may be more active than some, but the truth is it's a collective. There is Carice Lawrence, it's Sister Mitzi who leads the committee.
Yes.
I tell her we're our little helpers.
These are all my family members. Continue. Like.
Jelani Nair, Michael Barnett, Priest Douglas Smith, Jabulani Tafari. They are on the committee for specific things, but they're on the committee really were with that team I just mentioned of Barnett, Nile, and Roots Foundation are supposed to be doing an exhibition, which we will still have. They have an exhibit that they had put up some years ago, and that will be remounted to some extent with some of the things from the Discovering Rastafari exhibition that was in DC, where we have some of the things here. So it's a collective. Breadlocks is also. So most of the people are mentioned in our family because they're all on, whether they're in RMO or Rastafari Creatives, you would have been exposed to that team. And we still keep pulling in people. We keep pulling in people for Rasgart, Bongo James. So it's all hands on deck to just make sure it works. Because you know how it is with events, Kwasi. And you know how it is with events when there is no direct sponsorship support.
Yes,
Um, and so engaging people who can support, from transporting elders who need to come into Kingston to ensuring that their welfare is taken care of while they're on property. All of those things are people really coming forward. And what's interesting, most of the assistance is from the community. I always say corporate Jamaica will come to the fullness one day of what Rastafari is about. And it's interesting because today someone called and I said to her, "Have you ever been to a bingy?" And I'm amazed at how many Jamaicans have never been to a bingy.
No.
So the average Jamaican actually has absolutely no clue about what that is. And I may have been lucky or blessed because at University of the West Indies, you have trips that take students there.
Yes.
We did that while we were at Edna as a part of your cultural experience. But I really am amazed that every other person I tell, no, I've never been to one. What do we have to wear? But I'm pleased that ones are more appreciative of observing traditions and honor the traditions in that space. But I'm happy it's in Kingston because it will.
You're gonna need a disclaimer sign that says Naya Bingi rock the heart, at the gate. You have to warn the people then before they go in, them are gonna jump. Continue.
So before the bingy though, I was talking about the activities from 2 p.m. until about 10:30. We have panel discussions. My brain sometimes is not so great, but it will come to me. The first panel discussion I'm aware is going to be looking more so on well-being. Well-being and health as a major part of our discussion about Rastafari. So anything at this time, the discussion will actually look on world affairs and where we are. And we talk about world affairs, we're talking about things like today I got a notice that gas prices are going up because of war and that kind of thing. So having the conversation at this time is really going to be important because the truth is that ones need to be more mindful of food sustainability, their own food sovereignty. So those conversations, and sometimes we eat too much. So if we go back to the core of what's that conversation will be led by Jalani Nair and Dr. Jodine Tafara, who is a medical doctor, will be on that panel.
Dr. Jodine, long time.
So there is a panel put together to really explore what that looks like, what well-being looks like, even our mental health, which is not something we talk about much. But how is your mental health? Today I was having a conversation with Marcus Goff, and while he was speaking, I knew he was crying. In as much as you don't see the tears. A week ago, I was having a conversation with Bongo Jerry, and he was crying. And people in the audience told me that they were crying too. So the community has experienced a lot of trauma and pain. And so it's an opportunity to really just reflect and reason about it, acknowledge it, and see how we move forward. So that will be one of the panels. And then there is a second panel that RMO is on. And I guess when I say RMO, whoever the representative is from RMO, but the truth is that most of the ones on that particular panel are also members. There is First Man, there is Priest Lamont, and mainly a representative of the Bobo Ashanti in particular as it relates to repatriation agenda.
All right.
And then Michael Barnett is also on that because we're looking at reparations as well. We're looking at Rastafari Village as a particular model. You know what it is, Kwasi? One of the things, I mean, since I was a little girl, I always hear Rastafari speak to going back to Africa or going home. And I don't hear anybody telling me, how do I get there? And what do I do when I go there? So I think these conversations are real. And I find it particularly interesting in a time when the RMO had a triple R strategy, or
Yes.
has a triple R strategy. So when you look at the triple R strategy, I think it was relief. Um, I know repatriation was the last one. I
Yeah.
remember relief.
It's relief, rebuild, and rise, but the repatriation
Relief,
was
rebuild,
part
and
of the
rise.
rise. Yes.
Yeah. So coming out of a hurricane that has really demonstrated what is happening in Jamaica and parts of the country that has been neglected. I think what Hurricane Melissa has done for us is really bring us back to our core, for us
Yes.
to really look at how we can sustain ourselves and
Yes.
how we function with things that sometimes we have so many things that we really don't need.
Yes.
So, so I think it's that.
Let me just stick a pin there. If I was a well-funded media operation, I would be there, because this is so exciting to hear, because my audience would know that every day I tell them about this food shortage that's on the way. I'm telling them about Gideon. So to hear that in Jamaica, these topics are going to be reasoned in such a major forum, because these are the events where people turn out. You know what I mean? It's one thing for us to have it in a silo, but for us to have it when people are turned out in their numbers, and we're having these real, because no matter who you are, gas price will affect you. This is real. It touching diesel. All of the trucks them load up on diesel. Diesel is gone through the roof right now. So these are, and I can tell the item, this is a war of attrition that's happening in the Middle East. Start and stop, but it's not going forward. I tell the item, because this is in their minds, the people who are promulgating this war, they are thinking about it in apocalyptic terms and Armageddon terms. So you can burn the Bible all you want, but these people are trying to fulfill the book. So it is going to get dread. And as Rastafari, who have been chanting this from, I tell people, Colleen, that the most popular Rastafari song, One Love, you could argue. What does Bob say in there? Let's come together and fight the holy Armageddon. You see, so people don't even know the nice, lovey-dovey song. He's still focused on this time now. So it's embedded in the DNA of Rastafari. And I love that repatriation. We're going to be doing a lot of content here on repatriation. I'm reasoning with Bingy Sean. We're going to be going through the process of land development, building your house. Because I'm going through that process right now. So I'm going to be sharing some of that on the platform as I go through it in real time. Because as you say, these are the true conversations that are necessary right now. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is a real deal. So I'm glad. But continue.
No, it's interesting what you say, because I think the public has more or less come to acknowledge Rastafari as advocates. Huh? We're always advocating for something. And yesterday I was just having a moment hearing of advocacy and what we need to. And I thought to myself, perhaps what we need to start doing is looking at development.
Yes.
And, and even see how we balance that with advocacy at some stage. So I think, how Rasta go. Simon Tafari Ama is going to balance that particular conversation as one of the ones who've actively bought property on the continent and looking at repatriation.
Yes. And stick up in 1 second. We're gonna have Dr. Amani on this platform to launch her new website. I had a long conversation with her about setting up her ecosystem, and she listened. So we are going to be launching her website. It's fantastic, magnificent, all these things. We're going to do it here on the platform, so stay tuned for that. But continue, please.
I'm happy to hear that. That's my big sister.
Yeah.
So it's so that it is in Rastafari. We can plan and plan and plan, but things are going to just flow as it should.
Yes, exactly.
But we try some order because we don't have too many hours in one day. So outside of the panel discussions and the the arts infusion by the School of Drama at Edamande College. We also have popular Rastafari voices, Chino Smith and the Bingistra movement, Mystic Revelation of Rastafari,
Okay.
legendary chanter Profi. Muta Baruka will be spinning on the wheels of steel, we call it.
Wow.
And I'm particularly excited about the presentation of some young artists. We are having like artists from the 12 tribe of Israel, Sang Davis, Fred Locks.
Legends.
We also have, I think, Micah Shamaya and Tijan.
Legend in the making. Big up yourself, Michael Shemaya, Tijan.
So there is. I tell people that 1976 is a special year. I may always I say because of the year when I'm born, but 1976 is is also a year that some albums were produced or released at the time. Black Heart Man from Bonnie Whaler, Legalize It by Peter Tosh, Rastaman Vibration by Bob, and which one is the next one? War in a Babylon by Max Romeo. So we want to honor those works at the event as well, and we've invited the children of the Whalers to be represented on that platform, as well as the children of Max Romeo to those works.
Big event this. A big event this, a massive something. Continue.
So those four, I mean, it's really, for me, it's meaning making, it's memory making, it's meaning making. So it's in as much as, and I believe in the arts as the best thing to communicate a lot of things. The natural testimonies from elders who were around for that visit will also happen. The days guided by Sister Mitzi and Ras Ivy as the what we call MCs. But throughout the day we'll also actually have a Rastafari fashion show. I was sharing with Sister Mitzi that one of my most special moment was at Blue Fire Retreat in Florida one year, and I remember we went to Miami at a restaurant, and the way that it's almost like people were tripping over themselves to see these women in their wonderful, beautiful, queenly robes.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever felt so special. Just the way that they were amazed at how well dressed up we were. So I think there's something about Rastafari dress, especially, and it's both the queens and kings, really.
I want to see Rastafari fashion strong. Just like you have Paris Fashion Week, we need to build it up so people fly in. We have not really done what with the culture what we can do, because people would fly from all over the world to come to Jamaica to see a top tier fashion show. Mama Yashi, this, that, bop. You have all of your designer them come out with their spring line or their, you know what I mean? All of that is very possible. Empress Samantha, I know she's getting at the fashion thing too as a former Pulse model.
Well, I didn't mention Empress Samantha as on the committee. She's on the committee helping with the fashion show as well.
Okay. You see, it's all of my family them, That's how I know I'm in good
company. It's really one big family,
That's what I said.
As much as we think that we are so different, but we are really one big family.
That is it.
So, but what's important for me for the fashion show is, one, you're kind of giving opportunity for those who are entering the industry, fashion in particular, to showcase what they have. But I think perhaps what's most important to me is that kind of sharing with the young people what are the traditions.
Yes.
And sometimes I believe in go to Rome, do as Romans do generally.
Yes.
And I think if you go to I grew up in church, and I remember, as much as I love my jewelry, it was not a thing in my household. And even today, when you go home, you kind of honor that tradition.
Sure.
So I also believe in the new, but I also believe in balancing tradition as well. so that, because for me, if we only show what's new and say that we're trying to reach young people, then what is it that young people have to lean into?
Exactly.
What is going to happen to the
Root.
history and the
The root.
memories?
And what I realized too is when I traveled to Ghana for the first time and we were out in the villages, I was seeing all of these sisters with their long skirt, their head wrap like how the Rastafari sister wrap it. And at first I'm thinking, oh, I didn't know there's a Rastafari community out here. And
But it's just a tradition.
it's the tradition, and that's the thing that really blew me away. Coming from America, going to Africa for the first time, is that when you go, and I'm talking about women who are farming in the long skirt, head wrap, you know what I mean, a baby palm back, head wrap, the long skirt, and you realize this is our tradition. And then a lot of women in the West talk about, you know, the hair saving style and put on a wig or then put on a bonnet. You know, it's very big in America for people go out in a bonnet, and it's really that head wrap culture from Asian, but in a modern kind of perverse kind of way. But black women have always been protecting their head or their hairstyle through the natural fabric and looking royal while they did it. You know what I mean? So I think we have to show, because you're gonna catch a lot more young sisters by showing them a hempress sativa than just bun out pants. You know what I mean? Because you bun out the pants, but there's nothing attractive to a young person. They just rebel, you know, and say you bun out that you pour over there or rust. You know what I mean? But if you show them a stylish sister who has stepped through, they're gonna gravitate to that. Because when I grew up, we wanted to be like adults. Now it's like the adults want to pick me. You know what I mean? Talk to I.
No, I mean, while you were talking, I was thinking of the I3.
Yes.
And that for me is a beautiful story of fashion, you know, how I grew up watching those three women and thinking, I want to dress like that.
Exactly.
So there are examples that we can show, and just why you wear what you wear. So that's also going to be on showcase there. And then we move from that into a bingy.
And that this is why, you know, I don't like to feel bad mind or jealousy or, you know what I mean? But when I can't go a certain place, you know, I kind of feel a little way in myself, you know, and I'm dealing with that. I'm trying to be a better person in myself. You know, the young people call it FOMO, you fear of missing out, you know, you want to be there. But
Well, you know, said the ones them where you know who have streaming platforms, more you encourage them to just stream. You know, so anybody you know with streaming platform in the community, we encourage them to stream so that you can get bits and pieces of it. Um, I'm also quite comfortable turning on a Zoom for those of you who are overseas and want to just capture. And I also believe in documentation. So I think it's important that these activities are captured in some way or form to you know, so that we have that as a part of our archive.
Definitely. I think it's crucial. And for those, if you have never been to a Naya Bingi, these are the Bingis you want to go to because the energy is so high. You're going to have master drummers there like a Profile.
Is the energy ever low at a bingi though?
No, but when you have these celebration, when the public, you know, there's levels to everything. You know what I mean? So a good point, because you know the bingi always when it's a gathering, but when you have these special gatherings like a Majesty visit to Jamaica, His Majesty Earth Strong, coronation, you know what I mean, where you have people coming from land and sea, the countryman them come a town to, where's that a go on, the bingi is going to be hot, and I tell you them, this is going to be a history. So if you're in Jamaica and you can reach, make sure that you're there and taking the whole day. Are there going to be vendors and things like that?
There are vendors of Rastafari artisans. There are food vendors and ones who want to buy market produce. We will have that as well.
Okay. In terms of the educational side now, because I say that His Majesty visit to Jamaica was probably the biggest visit by a foreign dignitary in the history of the island. You know, the whole island came out pretty much. People come from country, come a town, walk. You know what I mean? From the deepest hills. You know, this was a shock to the Jamaican system because Jamaica didn't know there was so much Rastafari in the island until the visit, because all these men come out from the hills. Is like, you know, a Rastafari explosion. So what in this event in terms of the education for those who may not know or may have only seen the black and white video on YouTube, what can they anticipate in terms of the educational piece?
You know, I think Russ Iva is like, for me, and the ultimate bard
Yeah,
in
man.
terms of storyteller.
It,
I think he's a beautiful storyteller. And so his own recall and sharing of that story, and we're in storytelling time now, we have used stories
yes,
to really engage audiences. I think that is going to be a major part of it. I think the book I mentioned, that you probably should have Brother Jakes and Rashtalani on to speak about, that has the testimonials, is perhaps a good thing that we can share, but there are live testimonies as well. And I think between Sister Mitzi and Rasaibai, that story of His Majesty's visit will be framed. But we're also showing a documentary that's been released by Desta Megu, Dr. Desta Megu,
yes,
because I know you are aware of the exhibition she did years ago, His Majesty
and the movement.
and the
Yes,
movement, right?
there's
There's
an article for that publication, as a matter of fact.
So she has, I think it's like a 25-minute documentary that kind of locates the visit of His Majesty to Jamaica, to the legacy of Haile Selassie High School and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and it would be it will be interesting to see that, what that is. I haven't seen it yet, but we will premiere that there, all being well. Um, and then we kind of just encouraging ones to, for the week, to go and watch some of the videos that exist to
Yes.
jog your memory and to just come and listen. I'm looking forward to listening. I'm
Yes.
hoping I'm not working or that I can listen while I work.
I was gonna say that's good. That's more realistic. Let's get realistic.
Let's get-
I don't know if you can sit down once you're part of the plan. I don't even know if you have that in you if you just sit down.
You know,
Wow.
I can't even sit when it's not my business. Can you imagine? But it's work in progress, learning to
Yes,
just
yes,
still and
exactly.
take things in as opposed to trying to be so involved.
And I see that the IS started, but you know, as many younger sisters as you can take under your wings and also have them volunteer. I know the I does that already, particularly with the Edna Manley students and thing, but continue that, and maybe that
You
needs.
know, so I don't work at Edna no more Kwasi.
I know that, but you
I
still
work
have
at the University of Technology, and I want that you to be mindful of that.
okay.
Less those who pay me send me a note.
Yes,
And
yes.
a
Let's be
friendly
clear,
reminder.
UTech, but she's been doing it for so long. That's the point I'm making. But UTech, let's put in UTech there.
And the difference is that Edna students, you get arts management and students who are doing music, dance,
Yes,
or
yes,
visual
yes.
arts kind of vibe. But at UTech, you get a kind of technical communication experience. So now the access is to good videography and photography. So
Okay.
once they too are very curious. It's very interesting. I was marking papers today and I was laughing at a student's work. I probably closed it down. But the student looked on, was actually looking at ganja from the perspective of herb houses. And it's very interesting to see how young people view, because what they get are the fancy new herb houses, you know?
Yes.
But I looked at the assignment and watch how curious they are about the culture.
Yes.
And so that's also interesting because they are creating documentaries, they're doing their interviews, and that's another way that we can get information for archiving.
Of course.
And they're also learning about the culture.
Of course. Of course. Nick Nakus, big up yourself. He said Wise Mind publication has some excellent published testimonies from the ancients who were present. Yes, big up Wise Mind. I'm gonna reach out and get Ras Flacco on here. I know he's been doing some excellent work with the Wise Mind and with the Word Sound collective in terms of documentation of elders and putting out those works. So very important in terms of that piece. One of the things I love about the visit to Jamaica is that first of all, as an attorney, it was a divine ratification of the Rastafari movement because when you look into the archive, the British really wanted His Majesty to go to Jamaica to denounce this movement that was rising in the island.
Mm-hmm.
They were seeing it as a destabilizing force because it started to, by the 1960s, it started to creep into the uptown and the middle class homes, So this thing started in rural Jamaica with Howell and the Dongle and,
Mm-hmm.
But after in the 60s now, this thing started creep uptown, So they were very concerned and they're now sending a request through His Majesty Dr. Eric Williams from Trinidad, invites His Majesty to the Caribbean. And so they saw it as an opportunity to, go to the British consulate and have him to stop by Jamaica. And, in opposition of that expectation, His Majesty comes and gives gold medals to the Rastafari movement. The leaders of the movement basically legitimizing them because remember these people were living in a dump, 3 years earlier, Bakawal, which was a dump site before it was bulldozed, and now they're in King's House getting gold medals, you know what I mean? So, now we look back on it and it might seem just, that's something that happened because you see, what happened to the movement after Bob Marley and it went global. But at that time, these were literally the black heart man. This was literally, I'm sure from your youth, you remember the discrimination, that was faced and the stigma, you as a nice church girl, if you ever bring home a Rasta man to your house,
One day we'll talk about those stories. But it's interesting because I pulled out 2 books last week that I want to challenge myself to reread. And the first one is Brother Man, because I kind of like the way that story is written. It's a novel, it's a play, it's a kind of, I like the experimentation of Brother Man, so I look forward to rereading it. But for some, that was your first introduction to Rastafari. And even the way that the Roger Mace showed, Brother Man and that ultimate, I call it the sacrifice because he was a good man. Some of us I grew up in community where the Rasta man was kind of isolated.
Yes.
And I wasn't always sure if it was isolation or he chose isolation.
Yes.
And I always laugh because my first play that I've ever been in, probably my only play, was the one with Alexander Bedward, Barjona, and there was the thing, madness, them call it madness, but it's a gladness. I remember that, and I always likened that line to Rastafari, where no different from in Hamlet, when Hamlet behaving mad to trick the king. Sometimes I think that madness that society perceives in the Rastafari, I'm sure that Rastafari is laughing and saying, "You think me mad, but I'm not mad," and what is wrong with this state of being different? Because I think the society has not come to terms with with difference, and it has not come to terms with Rastafari in as much as commercially. When you look on our tourism product and the way that Marley and the Ice Queen and Gold is celebrated, I don't know if we've really accepted Rastafari in that way. Well, I should say I'm very clear that they haven't. Um, People clutch their pearls sometimes when you go in spaces with locks. So it's like we've come far, but we're the same place.
It's
So it's and so even when I think of the 21st, and of course I think about are people coming because it's a spectacle. And so I don't necessarily, I think the community, I've gone to quite a number of bingies and I don't feel like it needs any kind of audience. So in as much as we want ones to come, Rasta has never attempted to save my soul in the way that the church community attempts to save souls. So that's what I like about this space. It's a space that's free, and you really are allowed to just be on your journey
yes,
in some kind of solitude, but at the same time you are in the community. The community is like a liminal space that you're there but you don't have to be there.
yes,
So that's how I see it. So even when we talk about the event, in my mind it's for the community to come together
yes,
after a major disaster event that some people have not seen each other for a long time, come
yes,
together and just be a part of that community, because I think that oneness is what is particularly special
yeah, man.
about the community. And if others come, they can enjoy it. But I don't think that we need to market anything to anybody in the public. Who we want to hear are people who can make decisions that make Rastafari lives better. So the decision makers who are still, I don't know if you saw in Jamaican news, sometime this week, I think, was it this week or late last week, where schools were relaxing how boys wear their hair.
No,
Yeah, I'll share the article with you, but I found it interesting because now we're talking about styling, cornrows and
yeah,
twists. And
yeah,
I'm like, this is becoming a national debate. And I've watched over the years how people don't really participate in the Rastafari debate, you know. The
yes,
struggle for Rasta I remember Rasta children at my high school when I was in Clarendon, and how those girls used to have to comb out their roots and
oh,
make it neat, and then they had the little wrap and the boys had to cover their heads. So
oh,
there's not that freedom and no one speaks about it
yes,
until you hear every now and then Rasta come back up again because somebody got kicked out of school or was put
yes,
outside.
yes,
For me, those are the national conversations and attention that we need. And so while we celebrate a moment, and I think you said it, His Majesty's coming to the Caribbean was for Rastafari. I was having a conversation with with a brethren, and just hearing Ras Ibai and all of them speak, it
mm-hmm.
was a legitimization of this movement
Yes.
because them God come.
And that was a common refrain in those times. The elders used to say, "Your God not come, your God not care about you, no dirty Rasta talk about his mercy, he not care about you," and then they see him come, and then they see, the respect. It really changed the face of the movement because he
Mhm,
did set the captives free in a sense, because before His Majesty, you had to walk in the gully. You couldn't walk on the roadside. You know what I mean? After His
mhm,
Majesty, these things began to change, because people now start coming in the open. So it really is a significant moment in Jamaican history. And I'm so glad that Jamaica is, celebrating on this level then, because the event is extravagant, from motorcade to Ayabingi to panel discussion to, you know what I mean? So it's multifaceted.
mhm,
There'll be some economics there, fashion show, support the vendors if you go to the event, make sure that you spend some money. And I was hoping Ras Ivy, I don't know if you saw, I mean, Ras Ivy, no, I was hoping that Ras Ivy would have been here because I don't know if you saw the interview he did on YouTube on, I think it was called Throp. I can't remember the channel name, but this interview is going semi-viral. This is a Jamaican diaspora brethren who does a real estate focused channel.
Mhm.
But then when you read the comment section, it's everyday Jamaicans just remarking about Rastafari and how intelligent Ras IV is and how everything the Ras is saying is so spot on. You know, it's like this realization and almost like a repentance. He has reading the comments how people kind of discard Rastafari and now looking at the world today, they're
Mhm.
saying, wow, you know, these people.
It's interesting though when people say how intelligent and they behave surprised.
Yes, yes.
But Rastafari has, I don't know, it's like my most intelligent conversations growing up was with a Rasta man. Read a lot, think a lot, and so the wise mind was obvious. So sometimes I wonder how, I think again is the labels that they put on you. You're mad. Why would you choose to be like that? But yeah, I just hope that, one sweet day, everyone will come to the fullness and everyone not have to be Rasta, but at least Rasta will be given the same treatment like everyone else and what they deserve for some of the atrocities that has been leveled at them. And it's interesting how in this time we'll come out of a bad Friday, Kwasi, and then we go into celebration mode.
Yes, yes.
So it's reflective as it is celebratory. So yeah, give
No.
thanks for the space.
I really do give thanks for the presence. I'm trying to get Ras IRV forward in. He's been trying. He's going to try again. If you're watching, let us know where you're watching from live. If you're watching on the replay, put a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We want to chronicle the global audience. We are really looking forward. Sister Diana Collingwood,
Hey, Sister Diana.
she said, give thanks for the work, Sister Colleen. Knowledge is power, more love and blessing.
I would love to have been in St. Croix with you this weekend.
Yes, we're excited.
You're going, Kwasi?
Yeah, man, I am. Where do you know Empress Diana Collingwood from?
Ask her.
Put it in the comments.
Everyone, you know what's interesting? During COVID, in as much as we were isolated, it's the period that I met the most people.
Yes, with the online. It's true. It's true.
So I have good sister. When you look at Sister Walletti is like a big sister.
Yeah, man.
A good sister. Jazanai Kush.
Yes.
Everybody that are your family. I met in COVID.
It's true.
And it's like, them long time. So it was a moment when the online platform really was a space. And so Sadina was one of those who I met in the Sosa Cruz space. Have never met in the flesh, but we talk all the time like we know each other.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
All the best with your event this weekend.
Yes, Ras IRV. Yeah, man, it's your time now, Ras IRV. Talk to us about the visit of His Majesty to Jamaica. Give us some of the history.
Well, I mean, it was something more than astonishing, something more than marvelous, in the sense that, bearing in mind what Rastafari was going through even before His Majesty came here, and if I remember the Coral Garden atrocity that was carried out on the Rastafari community just 3 years ago,
Yes.
So it was for the first time that Rastafari was rubbing shoulders with society people, so to speak, Doors open, more respect was shown. And what was astonishing to H.I.M about Haile Selassie is that most leaders that come to a country, they fly from one airport to the other. His Majesty didn't do that. His Majesty took a 8-hour long ride on a train, stopping in various rural communities, meeting and greeting the people and the children and so on, you know. So that was very marvelous, very astonishing to H.I.M and the part of Her Majesty. If we can just go back to the visit, when you know, when you look at the Lion of Judah visit to Jamaica, nothing like that has ever happened in Jamaica, where all protocols were broken, the people broke down the fence, took to the tarmac. You know, I remember reasoning with David McConnell. Sometime, I think it was 1987, when he came here along with two other Ethiopians, Tamrat. And he said, when they landed and His Majesty saw the crowd coming toward the plane, His Majesty said to the pilot, turn off the engine. Because I remember, you know, chalice was being lit under the wings of the plane, you know, where you go to the average airport, they tell you no naked light. You know, I recall a journalist, a TVJ videographer who said he has never seen anything like that, you know, because people were expecting the plane to blow up because chalice was being lit, you know.
Wow. Mystical. Was the idea Ras IV? Wife.
So
Was the idea
had ever gotten the time? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you froze for a little second. Were you there in the physical? Did you see His Majesty?
No. I was a youth going to high school, you know, and in the rural area.
Okay. But so, continue the history, because we love it.
Yes, what again is that, like I was saying, no other heads of state has ever gotten the type of welcome that Haile Selassie got in Jamaica, you know? And no other heads of state has ever made themselves available to the people of Jamaica. And again, I know they might be very familiar, others listening might be very familiar with what His Majesty said, that Ethiopian and Jamaicans are blood brothers, not just brothers, you know, but blood brothers. Because slaves did leave Ethiopia and came to Jamaica. You know, it's very astonishing because most people feel like most of the slaves then are the slaves then in general that came to Jamaica came from the West Coast, you know, and countries more or less that would have under British control. But it wasn't so. His Majesty said Ethiopian and Jamaican are blood brothers, you know. And the other thing is that much of society was expecting that Haile Selassie would have denied Rastafari.
Yes.
It happened to us that it was Marty McPlanner that Haile Selassie asked for. And Marty Planner, you know, I remember Marty Planner because I have sat with Marty, you know, and I'm reading with him many occasions.
Yes.
I remember Marty said to I that, and I reasoned with Irian too, and it was Irian then that went to the public hospital and took out Marty Planner and said, you don't know His Majesty coming, and took him out. He had just had an operation, a short operation.
Yes.
So when they called for Marty Planner, Marty didn't walk and he didn't run. He was lifted up by the people. So it was not people moving him in the air until he reached the plane. And he said to His Majesty, pointing to his throat, that he had just had an operation. Remember, Marty and His Majesty had met in 1961 in Ethiopia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the delegation that left Jamaica to Africa, you know. And he said His Majesty held his hand and put his thumb in the middle of his hand and squeezed it and said, speak. And Marty spoke. You know, so yes, and I know a lot of people might not hear that part, but because I and Martin was very close, we were very, 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 very close, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
So I got a lot of information from him. But that was again, and when you see, Babylon system lost control of everything that day. Had it not been that Martin Planner was asked and asked that His Majesty, that the crowd, you know, the part, and His Majesty was able to step down and walk. But who else could have controlled that crowd? It took Rastafari people or a Rastaman to say to the crowd, His Majesty would like to disembark.
And that was strategy. That was strategy, Ras IV, to call, because he could have called Douglas Mack, you know. He could have called Fillmore Alvaranga, you know. But in call who? Martin.
The dreadlocks man.
The dreadlocks man, so that him would have elevate him. Know every camera a flash that, you know. Every camera take that picture, you know. So His Majesty really came for I. And he also said in that speech to the both houses of Jamaican Parliament that the relationship between Jamaica and Ethiopia would be critical for the maintenance of international peace and security. Why did he say that for this little small island in the Caribbean, if Jamaica is not a cultural superpower? That is my son, you know. Oh, you said. What you say, Ras IRV? How you feel about that?
Well, let's look at it. Look at the impact that this little 4,400 square mile has had on the world in different ways. If you look at culture, if you look at music, if you look at athletics and sports in general, there's no other 4,400 square mile in the world that has impacted on the world. When it comes to the anti-apartheid movement and the whole black struggle movement, the role that Jamaica has played is what one would say phenomenal, because we stood out. Even in our music, even in our songs, we made it known, you know. Yes, we got to fight against apartheid, you know, music like those, and we're not going to give it up, you know, we'll be fighting until African country. There's no other genre and music, there's no other people who sing about Africa like you know, black people here in Jamaica. So His Majesty knew the role that Jamaica had been playing over the years. If you look at the impact of Marcus Mosiah Garvey in all of those conferences, black advanced conferences having to do with black upliftment, both in Britain, both in the US. And just look at the impact that Marcus Garvey has had as a little Jamaican black man, you know, going out there. So Jamaica is has played a very significant role where the awareness, the pride and dignity of the black race, you know, is concerned. We are the ones that Rastafari people especially who said, you know, be proud of yourself. You know, why bleach, why cream, why Jerry curl? If the Almighty wanted any other way, the Almighty would have.
And I want to also, you know, say that
the role that Jamaica had played very significant. Very significant.
And also we have to
at even US, and to the role that Jamaica had played in different ways, militarily and other ways, politically and so on, Jamaica had impacted on the world, you know.
Give thanks. I wanted to say that we also have to know that His Majesty had been supporting the UNIA from as early as 1919. So he was following Jamaica from in the teens, you know what I mean? From he was a young Ras when he sent his emissaries to Chicago who linked with the UNIA. He also supported them with money. Marcus Garvey, one of the UNIA, if not the largest donor, one of the largest donors was Rastafari. So when he's coming to Jamaica, it's not a place where he don't know about and a culture where him unfamiliar, you know what I mean? And you can see the love that he had for Jamaica by, as you say, gifting a school. But what I want to ask the eye, because you've been part of the planning team that's happening this event that's coming up, what is the eye looking forward to with this event coming up here?
Well, give thanks because I would have asked the eye for the opportunity to say, but even though I know Sister Colleen would have said, but it's 60 years, and it's time for I and I as a community to look back, analyze, the journey over this past 60 years. What is it that I and I have achieved? What is that I and I have lost? What is it that I and I need to do to achieve and I aims and objectives? And the aims and objectives are many naturally. We have short term, long term, But in a nutshell, how can we as a movement come together to put pressure on the system? To put pressure, because there's nothing that I and I is entitled to that is going to be handed down to I and I. I and I have to function in a way that put pressure. And as such, we hope that we can use the occasion to remind and launch an organization that they might do.
Okay, Wi-Fi the guy. These things will happen, but that's why we don't panic here, family. I told you we're gonna get a nice sip, and you see the sip nice and it a bubble. The Wi-Fi will act up sometime, but the Asian will come forward. Look at the beautiful Colleen there. That's where you get for feast pan. You know what I mean? The whole world. All right, so please, Sister Colleen, who are some of the participants? I want to go into this fashion show aspect of it, so we can give the ones them doing that work, because I think one of the things that we're looking at is economic development. How can the community generate revenue, resources? How can we leverage Rastafari cultural impact and now harness that economic resources? And the fashion is something, as we could see with the whole controversy with the Jamaica uniform and the Rastafari colors as opposed to Jamaica colors. We see the culture, and most people think that the Ethiopian flag is Jamaica flag. So, I mean, how do we leverage that, and how is the fashion? Is the fashion show positioning itself to be something that can highlight the potential of this resource?
I'm sure eventually, Kwasi. I don't think I have much to share. That would be Empress Samantha and Sister Miss chiefly. I stay in my lane,
Stay in your lane, all right.
Yes.
All right. But you're a fashionista.
I may model a dresser too.
I say you're a fashionista because even before you had hair on your head, African print. That's how I know the eye. I don't know the eye no other way. You know what I mean? Some royal African dress and these kind of things. So I know fashion is close to your heart. What are the final things that you want to just share in terms of for the people who
it's just a restating
Yes.
for emphasis and for those who may have joined late that
Yes.
on April 21st, which marks 60 years of the visit of His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I to Jamaica, we are celebrating that occasion at the Louise Bennett Garden Theatre, which is located at the Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, just off Hope Road, right next to the police them. So them are going to protect we. They put them now enemy that day there.
No.
So we're actually sandwiched between Police Officers Club and Office of the Prime Minister and King's House.
Yes.
The morning, as I explained earlier on, starts with a motorcade. One's coming from the west. Russ Ivy like driving by himself, but we also have buses coming from Clarendon, St. James, coming into Kingston to join those in Kingston and go to the airport. So to forward to the airport, do some bingy ices in the morning. I think it's a privilege for anyone coming to Jamaica on the 21st to experience that as your entry, you know.
Yeah,
And
man.
then we leave airport and head to the Haile Selassie High School to just share with them for a few moments in their own observation of the anniversary. And from there, we go to the Louise Bennett Garden Theatre for reasonings, reflections, testimonies, performances, like you said, fashion show, and then bingy in the nighttime.
Wow. So powerful. Listening to that, Ras IV, how you feel about that? Ras IV, you can hear? Okay, I see your lips moving there. Hold on. 1 second. Talk, let me hear.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I hear the I now.
Yeah, well, that's great, and that's why I said I figure more or less Sister Colleen would have outlined what the program would be on that day, because we want to. Right now, we have the RMO for years upon years, decades. You know, and I've been trying to get the movement, to centralize the movement. You know, to have an umbrella structure among the different houses and mansions that would enable I and I to act and speak with one voice. You know. I remember years gone in 87, we had the EIUC, in 94, we had the RCO, Rastafari Centralization Organization. In 2007, we had the Rastafari Millennium Council. And over the years, we have had now the RMO. And I have to make it work because the one voice is very important for I and I, because we cannot speak or act in splintered groups. So we're hoping to use, the platform, to create opportunity, to give opportunity to entities like the RMO, the School of Vision, 12 Tribe, the Bobo Shanti, and others, the opportunity to speak on the issues affecting I. And what is it that I as Rastafari need to do to come together in order to have the type of impact that I know that I can have and have been having, upon the masses, upon the populace of I people over the past years, So, yes, I, support and welcome and help to put the program together, because we want a oneness. This is not just a Nyabingi thing. Yes, it has been a Nyabingi initiative and has been spearheaded by Nyabingi over the years. But I within the Bingi House, had never done any celebration that way without opening the doors to the entire Rastafari community,
And it's important to note that Nyabingi House is the one that called the people to the table to make the RMO happen. We have to get that history, because it was the Nyabingi House that called all of the mansions to the table, all of the organizations to the table. And that became the RMO. So it's not strange, in terms of the Nyabingi House's role in all of the All Mansion efforts, and, that call for unity. Is that factual, Ras IV, as a witness?
Yes. I have been there, so I give thanks and know that is true. Remember, in 87, we had the EIUC, which was the Ethiopian International Unification Committee. And I used to meet by Nigel on Office 133 Tower Street.
Nana Faraika was the vice president. One of my Asian Nana Faraika was the vice president or co-chair with Ras Miguel.
Right. So we've been, the Nyabingi House had always been there. In 94, it was the Nyabingi House. Again, I think it was that green bottom that got the RCO together. Again, it was the Nyabingi House, led by administrators within it and ancient that got the RMC together, you know. So not to disrespect or despise or reject or look down on any other houses or mansion, but just want to know that I have always stood for unity, and I give thanks to know now that the Baba Shanti is on board. 12 tribes, based on reasoning with Brother Sangi, they are on board. We all look towards coming together as one big black powerful movement in order to achieve an objective. And this 60, and I want it to be significant. Want it to be for a long time, that's first step on the ladder to climb to the heights that I need to go. I was saying earlier when we got cut off that the Jamaican populace is no longer interested in the type of partisan politics that we have. Less than 40% has been going out there voting. We always have a government, a minority government. Sometimes that's 19% of the electorate, 20-something percent. So it is for I and I as a people, as a movement, to see the needs and requirements of our people and structure ourselves to play some more significant role, where the advancement of the well-being of I people is concerned. Not just Rastafari, but our people, I can't see Rastafari being, living in a certain way, privileged or materially advanced without our people. Because Majesty said, until the basic human rights are guaranteed to all without regard to race. So I just see the movement as, someone or a group or an entity that will be responsible and has been responsible for reminding our people who they are and spearheading the movement towards victory, So we give thanks to the Nightingale as well as we give thanks to the other houses, mansion and organization. And individuals who don't belong to any other organization, house or mansion.
Yes. And it's so fitting, Ras IRV, because 1966, when his Majesty came, all of the houses and mansions that were existing came together. I mean, this was before 12 tribe was 12 tribe and thing, but every Rastafari was there, in a oneness. So it's fitting that at the 60th anniversary, we are seeing the same unity, I want to also, before we seal up, acknowledge that the I has recently done an interview that has become viral on the internet. This might be your first interview post that, and as Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, we want to get how the I feeling, because I know your phone must be just ringing off the hook and everybody like them discover us IRV, you know what I mean? How do I feel?
Well, honestly, I feel good to know that this is something that I didn't forget about, and just the other day the brother called me and said he was about to let it go because, approaching it from a professional point of view, naturally he would look into some of the things then that I said and make some backtrack, some investigation, journalistic point of view, and get what the media has been saying and so on and so on. But people all over the world knowing that it's just gone 4 or 5 days out there, and already it might be about 30,000 people, near 40. So I give thanks because some people, the Jadma, see Rastafari. Some people even dreadlocks because they are drawn to Rastafari, but they still don't know what Rastafari is dealing with. So it is good when, videos like those, interviews like those can go out, that people look and realize that, oh, this is what Rastafari is all about. Because some people feel like, say, Rastafari is a set of isolationists who don't want to have anything to do with the system. No. And it's about the struggle of our people, the redemption of Africa, the redemption of African people globally. See, so and point out, because enough feel that I is asleep and we don't realize the games that are being played, you know. And there are so many games that are being played out there, some by our own local politician, some being pressured by, you know, the international colonial policies. And it's good to know that people realize that I and I as Rastafari are fully aware of all of those things. For example, in the ganja industry, we see the blockade being created by the international, what I would say, white world, you know. So it's good to see that people are realizing, and again, the judge might show the power of the media, and we need to use the media more often and as effectively as I and I can, because our people need information, our people need education. The brother who did it is very elated and would want
What's
to
his
know
name?
that
What's his name so we
more.
can give him credit? What's his name so we can give him some traffic and some credit? What's the name of the brethren? You remember?
His name is Winthrop.
Winthrop.
They own a hotel in next travelers, but he's someone who like to deal with issues or, you know, the struggle, so to speak. You know, so it was good to have a Rasta man, whether it was I or anybody, that can get across the type of information that I and I people need to have. Because look back at Steve Biko and remember his words: the greatest weapon in the hand of the down presser is the mind of the down press. So, and one of the word in the one of the words in the pyramid was Anu, meaning man know thyself. So if our people start to get information and knowledge about themselves and the greatness of who we are as a people, pride will be instilled within them. And once they develop pride, they're going to make and do the necessary things that will make them into the type of people that we're supposed to be. So give thanks for the, you know, video, that the interview that went out there. I'm looking
Yes,
forward to
yes.
more information, the judgment.
Yes, I have it up on the screen
And all the
here.
viewers, all the listeners, just know that more information, because I said to the brother that is just a tip of the iceberg. You know, there are so many things that have happened, especially in the 60s. And a lot of our children, a lot of our youth don't know. We've been saying to even the government from as far back as 1987. Well, that's where I started calling, but I know the call was made long before. For the introduction.
Wow. When it start get sweet, you know. But this is that was the interview. This is the interview here that everyone can go watch. And read the comments. That to me, it was a comment section. 332 comments on this video, high rate of engagement, and you really get to see how Jamaica feels. And look at the title that the brethren used. He said the elders have been warning us for decades. So even in the title, it speaks to, you know, kind of this awakening that's happening in Jamaica and in the wider diaspora. Ras IFV, I just want to salute the eye. You know, I told Sister Colleen I'm getting militant with me compliment them, because we have to really salute the ones them who are going out there and letting the information penetrate. You know, His Majesty is choosing who he feels is effective to do the work. So I just want to salute the eye as an Asian still on the battlefield, and say that we are honored, you know, as mature adults now, you know, watching the eye set an example that the you know, we never leave the battlefield, never get weary yet, you know. So I really just want to salute the eye. Dia has been a ganja advocate. Is there going to be anything around the ganja and sacrament at this event here? Okay. Hold on one moment. Patience. If you're watching live, put some emojis in the comment section. Let me see if you're awake. Let me see if you're awake. Mama Walete, I see the eye in the comments, you know. Our royal Rasses. I see the eye. Miracles as Haile Selassie the first walked amongst man. Yes. That is Dr. Walete Beresford. Russ, IAV? Yes, I hear the eye now. Okay, and there we go. So we're almost at the seal up. I do give thanks. I was trying to give some extra time, but as you can see, sometimes the Wi-Fi. But I give thanks for what we did get. Let me see if there are any questions before we do the final word sound. It says it's looking like it's only people with nuclear power getting respect. We said these days, yes, Rasupa, very serious. Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, thanks and praise. Big up yourself. Daniel, Ras Daniel, big up yourself. Bongo Wisely, our Asian, always in the comments, giving that strength, give thanks. He said Peter Tosh chanted, no more nuclear war. And that's another thing. You notice in all that's happening geopolitically, nobody don't talk about His Majesty. You know, there's no talk about disarmament. They're talking about nuclear this, nuclear that, and the things that His Majesty brought to the fore where he said that the country should disarm and use that money to raise the standard of living of their people. Nobody now make them talk right now. Big up yourself, Ras Daniel. DJ Ras H.I.M out of Georgia says, yes, I and I have to speak with one unified voice as Rastafari and African people. When I and I unite, the world shall unite and stop the war. It's very important. I and I have to set that example. Marlon Tidwell, big up yourself. Sata Masagana, Leonard Percival Howell, Sata Masagana, Marcus Messiah Garvey, Sata Masagana, hallelujah, hallelujah. Rastafari, big up yourself. Family, Mama Walete says, Ras IAV, it was an amazing interview indeed. Mama Walete nah left fire hinge, you know. So if you feel like that I got happen, I'm sorry for no. Because I'm a battlefield soldier. True indeed, DJ Ras H.I.M. Yes, I blessings, blessings. I boast about my comment section, Sister Colleen. You know what I mean? I say my comment section are the greatest online comment section on the planet. You know, I'm biased, but I have to say that. Salute IAV, pure love and blessings in the comment section today, as usual. Our elder Johnny Johnson says El Paso, Mexico, tuning in, essential vibes. Him, Haile Selassie, is the Prince of Peace. Surely. So give thanks, family. I think this is a beautiful episode. Next strong. There will be an event if you're in Jamaica. If I was a fully funded media house, I would be there with a camera crew. May I tell the eye in the midst of full joy, carrying it. We're going to see if we can get some streaming information. If we can, we'll share it. Breadlocks, the article, Dreadlocks, me don't know where you are though, but you know what I mean, your name come to mind. But we'll see what can happen, because that event is really going to be powerful. It's really going to be special. So anywhere you are in Jamaica, I know we have a significant Jamaican following by the analytics. Jamaica's always in the top 5 for the channel. So Jamaica family, make sure that the item support. Make we come together for the unity. The lone lion and lioness thing now go work again, family. That them days they're gone. Food shortage is on the way. We're talking about food sovereignty. We're having constructive reasonings. We're talking about, how do we empower economically ourselves? We're not waiting for the government. You know what I mean? We're not waiting on a man to come fly down from the sky and come save we. We are the ones who are responsible for our own liberation. And big up to this event because this is a manifestation of that forward movement. So give us your final word, Son. Anything that you want to share, and then if there's anything that I want to direct the people's attention to personally, feel free at this time as well. I know Sosaku has a big event coming up as well, so if you want to say something about that, anything you want to just plant that seed, this is the time.
You're a true public relations master, I will say before I remind ones of what is happening that the School of Sacrament and in association with the Institute of Caribbean Studies at UE are actually having a Rastafari Reasonings project. Well, it's Legalize It, a global roll call for 420. So we'll get updates and lessons learned from the Rastafari Society of Kenya, the Rastafari Continental Council, the Ethiopian World Federation, the Rastafari community in South Africa, the Rastafari community in Jamaica, of course, the Rastafari organization, the Rastafari grassroots, Ganja Association, RAGA, RMO, the Cannabis Embassy. It's a global roll call. I will share that with you, Kwasi, so you could put that
Yes, sir.
in your chat in terms of the Zoom. It's really to update just ones who are in the industry updating each other on what is happening in their spaces. So I
Beautiful.
will share that with you. And the whole purpose of me coming on was so I remind everyone that on Tuesday, April 21, as we celebrate the 60th, we invite you to share with us, join the motorcade. We meet at Rockfort and head to the airport for about 10. We should be at the Norman Manley International Airport, and then we leave there after an hour to Haile Selassie High School, then up to Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center, where we'll have a full day or a full afternoon. As of 2 o'clock, we will be having panel discussions, testimonies by elders who are all coming in from all over the island. We have performances from 12 Tribe of Israel, including Sangi Davis, Fred Locks, Micah Shemaiah, Tijon. We also honor 4 albums. We talk about the 4 albums, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, and Bunny Wheeler, through their children, as well as Max Romeo, the
Yes.
albums that are celebrating 50 years. And of course, the bingy is there. I think I also mentioned earlier on the fashion show. So Ronnie Williams is just on Hope Road, easy to find, right next to the office of the Prime Minister, actually. So it's not complicated to get to. And we just invite ones to come out. There's a marketplace. You can also come and support Rastafari artisans and farmers who will have their goods selling there.
Mightyful, mightyful. Give thanks once again for all of the works that the eye does and continues to do, and that the eye will do in the future. As the item can see, Rastafari is rising. The work, the tide that's sweeping cannot be stayed. No force on earth is great enough to halt or reverse the trend. Its march is inexorable and relentless as the passage of time. So for all of the people who thought Armageddon was going to come and Rastafari was just going to lay down and quiet, no, this is the time when you're going to see the sweetness. Our golden era is in front of us, While Babylon fall, I and I rise. So continue to support these events, continue to support the Lion Voice Network. We will be in St. Croix this strong end for the cannabis conference. Exclusive access. We have exclusive access. Nobody else have this access, so we are going to have at the cannabis conference. You heard from Senator Positive Nelson. We're going to be reasoning with panelists. We're going to be doing a lot of work at the Envision Cannabis Forum. So big up Empress Diana Collingwood. We're going to be posting the information in our community post, so look out for that. And we have a lot more collaborations, a lot more, coming together that is going to be happening as one of your hubs as Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. Support the movement, get active. The time is now. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's voice.
This is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's voice. Now put it. I Jollifer said that.
Greetings, this is H.I.M. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? H.I.M. said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's voice.
African pride, root of all nations, boy. I tried with the lion, the Rastafari. Lion of it tried with lioness like I do. Empress on the front line, we need you.
Well, this is Medicine, the steady one, and you are now tuned in to the Lion's Voice Network. What the lion forward for do? Scorch them. Roast and parch them.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Empress Manel, and I young science. Oh, your role universally unfold, be told. Oh. Blessed love, this is Itege Idama, and it's time for the lioness and the lion's voices to be heard. This is the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Yo, blazing fire, yeah man, this is Rasindio out of Belize. And the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, right? Yeah man, we blaze fire, burning the wicked and the dirty vampire. Yeah man, Rasindio said that, blazing fire, lion boy.
Shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Yeah,
David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.